Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everybody. So today we will continue our lecture on topic 2 of real estate agency practice 1. And today we will look at the remaining items in topic 2, which is the item number 4 and 5 and also 6, which relates with the acts and regulations, the scope of the acts that we will be using, and the effect of non-compliance with the rules in the act. Okay, so of course the act that we are talking about is Valuer, Appraiser and Estate Agent Act 1981 amended, and together with the Malaysian Estate Agency Standard, that both documents that you will be using as your own reference. Okay, so regarding the acts and regulation, if you can see from section 2 of VAEA Act, is regarding towards how you can become a registered estate agent. Okay, so the definition for registered estate agent is a person whose name has been entered under part 3 of the register and to whom an authority to practice has been issued by the board under section 16. Okay, so section 22A is actually an amendment, tells about the registration, and section 22D is the qualification for registration of estate agent and probationary estate agent. I think this one we already covered in the previous lecture. So registration of estate agent, so they have several conditions that you have to fulfill before you can become a registered estate agent, whereby the minimum age needed is 21 years old, have a sound mind, good character, and has not been convicted of any offense. So if you have any criminal records, like breaching MCO rules and being convicted under the court, so you can't become a registered estate agent. Number 2 is you are not an undischarged bankrupt. So if you are a bankrupt and then you have not being released by the bankruptcy department, so you cannot also become an estate agent. The requirements of section 18, the qualification and exam, like we previously discussed before, if you have the necessary qualifications approved by the board, then you don't have to take the papers to state that you are having the necessary knowledge to become a registered estate agent. Made declaration in the form, paid the fees. Fees, you can also refer on the schedule of fees, whereby fees required for exam, fees to register as a probationary estate agent and others. Okay, and lastly is not under suspension from valuation or estate agency practice, nor has his name been cancelled from the register. If you are suspended for any misconduct, or even you have become a registered estate agent before, then you cannot become a registered estate agent again if you have been terminated your registration. Okay, the qualification, like we already looked before, like you are having a certificate in estate agency from INSPAN, or a diploma in estate management from UiTM, from private colleges, whatever kind of qualification that the board deem as to suffice under section 22D, then you can become a registered estate agent or probationary estate agent first. Okay, scope of the act, section 2 states that as an estate agent, you are acting or holding oneself out to the public as ready to act for a commission, fee, reward, or other consideration as an agent, in respect in sale or other disposal of land and buildings, and of any interest therein, or the purchase or other acquisition of land and buildings, and any interest therein, or in respect of leasing or letting of land and building, and any of the interest therein. So meaning this is the scope provided by the act, like you are getting your commission, you are getting your fee, you're getting your reward based on acting as a third party person, based on you acting as an agent, meaning you undertake whatever is necessary to be carried out as instructed by the principal, and then of course you can get rewarded for it. Okay, so this is also stated inside section 16, authority to practice, section 22b, the persons that can practice estate agency, and section 22c, restrictions on the estate agency practice. Okay, so under section 16, it already stated regarding the fee, the authority to practice, and whereby you need to renew the fee or your registration annually. Okay, you must have a certificate of registration. Authority to be practiced be issued without error. If there is a grammatical error or the typo on the certificate, then you must go back to the board. Okay, duplicate authority may be issued made by a registered valuer, appraiser, or estate agent, meaning that you have several authorities, meaning if you are a registered valuer, then you are automatically also a registered estate agent. But if you are a registered appraiser, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are a registered estate agent. This is only for a registered valuer, meaning that you get both registered valuer and registered estate agent. But of course, if you went for registered estate agent only, then you are not a registered valuer. Okay, so bear in mind that's the main difference between registered valuer and a registered estate agent. For registered valuer, we must have a higher qualification, which is the bachelor degree in estate management. Okay. So section 22B for the estate agency practice, like we already seen before, under subsection 1 states that a registered estate agent who has been issued with authority to practice shall be entitled to practice his profession and shall be authorized to undertake estate agency practice. So another amendment, according to subsection 1A, no registered estate agent shall carry on property management. Meaning that if you are a registered estate agent, you can't manage property or carry out the duties of a registered property manager. For this, you have to go for a separate registration to become a registered property manager. Okay, so notwithstanding subsection 1A, the board may permit a registered estate agent to carry on property management if he was permitted to do so before coming into force the amendment of subsection 1A, and subject to the same conditions and restrictions that the board may have imposed upon him before the coming into force of subsection 1A, meaning that if you get the permission to carry out property management practice before the amendment was being introduced, then you can carry out doing registered property managers work. But if you are a registered estate agent after the amendment was already implemented inside the act, then you can't do that. Okay. So some of the restriction on the estate agency practice. So this is actually quite important as because it states that on the things or the do's and don'ts that we need to comply with. For example, under subsection 1, subsection A, practice or carry on business or take up employment under any name. Or title containing the words estate agent, house agent, property agent, or land agent, or house broker, whereby you cannot use this kind of wording if you are not a registered estate agent. If is implying that you are doing agency work, but you are not a registered estate agent, or not a probationary agent, or even a negotiator, then this is an offence under the section 22C, subsection 1, subsection 8. Okay, subsection AA, another amendment is that carry on business or take up employment as an estate agent, meaning you conduct the works, but you don't have the qualification, you don't have the registration, then of course you are an illegal broker. Okay. display any signboard or use, distribute or circulate any card implying that you are a registered estate agent. Of course, this is all cannot be done. If you are if you want to do this, then you have to be at least a registered negotiator. So if you have relatives that has been carrying out this kind of work from I don't know how long, then you have to tell them that it is wrong against the law, and then they can be brought up to the court of law by the board of value. As we know, their offence will carry a jail time for a maximum of 3 years and a maximum fine of 300,000 ringgit. So be careful on the works that you need to carry out. Okay. So other restrictions also you can see under subsection 2 of section 22C. And then, of course, we need to look into the Malaysian Estate Agency Standard, whereby this is the main standard being provided by the Board of Valuer. And then the standard came into force on the 1st of September 1999. And we have about 10 sets of standards relating towards the estate agency practice. And of course, the aim of the standard is to set required high standard for the practice of estate agency in Malaysia. So as we are a professional body and also professional profession, this will help us in guiding to deliver the best services for our principals or our clients. Okay, so current second edition was enforced from the 1st July 2014, whereby it's being dropped from 10 set of standard to 9 standards only, and states about the introduction of the standard, the statement of standard, and explanations to the standard. Okay, so if you can see the 9 standards that are being used as reference is estate agency office, negotiators, the types of estate agents, the estate agency fees, the terms of engagement, the advertisement and marketing, co-agency practice. Okay, standard 8 viewing and inspection, and also standard 9 is relating towards the forms being used. So in general, the MIAS Code of Conduct and Ethics should state that agents should be equipped with enough knowledge and compliance with the law. Agent should participate in continuous professional development program, whereby they have to fulfill at least 10 CPD points every year. They have to go publish a paper or go to a conference or even a seminar, whereby they can continuously gain the knowledge that is needed to renew their application yearly to continue their practice as a estate agent. Okay, code number 3, conduct of registered agent in safeguarding the best interest of their clients by acting with fairness and integrity, provide quality service. Agents' duty should be transparent and accurate. Okay, personal interests and relationships must be disclosed. If you are acting as an agent for your relatives, for your close friends, or even for your spouse, for your wife or your husband, then this also must be disclosed to the board of valuer. Okay, and most importantly, all agents must be acting within the law. Within the law meaning all kinds of law out there. Federal Constitution, Penal Code, National Land Code, Value Appraisal Estate Agent Act, and everything must be conducted by the book. By the book meaning by the law. Okay. So standard 1 is relating towards estate agency office. States regarding firm must have a proper office. So in this case, you must have usually a commercial office, whereby you cannot operate from your own residential homes, because we wanted to reflect that estate agent is a professional service and not some third class profession whereby anybody can conduct the business anywhere. Okay, negotiator or administrator cannot carry out agent's function. You must ensure that if you have any assistants or clerks, they do not overstep their boundary by signing documents that require the signature of the estate agent. So every office must be approved by the board, meaning you have to go and register the office, and then put inside the register of estate agents company. Site office to market the property for that particular site only. So if let's say you have been appointed by a developer to market their property, and that particular site office is to market that particular property only. You cannot do any other estate agency works at that particular site, meaning that you must have your own proper office. Okay, office shared with others must be well partitioned. Notice of change must be approved by the board. Office signage should contain name, registration number, and required by the local authority. Meaning you follow all the regulations set out by the local authority in your area. So if you are seeing a banner or even an office name that didn't have the name, didn't have the registration number, so most likely it's not an registered estate agent. It might be an illegal broker. Okay, each firm must have separate client's account and adequate professional indemnity cover. Client's account meaning that if you receive a deposit from the client, 10% from 100,000 ringgit, 10,000 ringgit, so you must not put inside your company's account or even your private account, but you must set up a different client's account. So it's not being mixed up, the usage of this fund. Okay, indemnity cover is regarding professional insurance, whereby if you conduct something that is not following up to the standard and you be sued, then at least you have an insurance to cover. Let's say you have been sued for 1 million ringgit, so at least you have this professional insurance to cover the amount of legal proceedings, or even worst case scenario, or even the judgment by the court that state you have to pay a certain amount of penalty towards the accuser or even towards the court. Okay, and all staff and professionals in the firm aware about all the provisions of the relevant act of the profession. Meaning, if they are working in the field with the estate agency office, of course, this should be applied to everybody. Ignorance is not a defensible action. Everybody must know the rule of law. So everybody must also follow the rule of law. Okay. Standard 2 is regarding the negotiator, whereby a negotiator must be employed by a registered estate agent. Negotiator must be employed on a full-time basis. This is very important, because if you want to work as a negotiator, you can't work on a part-time basis. So if you are saying people working as a negotiator as a part-time basis, on their daily jobs they are an engineer, but during their weekends they become negotiator, then this is something that is not permissible under Malaysian estate agency standard and can be punished by the board of valuer. Okay, so REN must work under estate agent's direction and supervision, where agent must have a proper register of the REN, meaning the negotiators also needed to be registered with board of valuer, whereby changes must be submitted within 2 weeks to the board. REN must quote price as agreed by client only, and responsibility is still under the agent, meaning whatever action of the negotiator, meaning they represent the registered estate agent's interest, they have to follow whatever instruction that the registered estate agent gave to them. Okay, so agent should provide adequate training for REN. Commission for REN must not exceed as prescribed by the board. REN must disclose his or her own interest in a property. REN must wear the name tag issued by the board during the work. As we can see in the previous lecture, they have this red name tag stating the IC number, the full name, the QR code, and also the company that the negotiator is working with. REN being terminated or left the firm must surrender the tag, the name tag. So therefore, they can't keep using the name tag for any actions that might break the law. New application for agent by sorry, new application by agent for rents registration must be made together with the fees, and advertisement placed by rent must be at the proper place as per the nature of their engagement contract. So therefore, it's the same. They can't post anywhere. They can't post on the lamp post, on the flyovers or anything. So it must be at the professional place, like at the principal's property. Okay. So standard three types of estate agent we have gone through. We have looked at the exclusive agency, the sole agency, the joint agency, and also the ad hoc agency. The estate agency fee, if you are needed to see, then is this follows the rules that is being provided under Valuer Appraiser Estate Agency Act. The terms of engagement, estate agency engagement can be oral or written, but agents is encouraged to obtain a written quote. So this goes back towards contract act. Contract, as we know, this oral agreement is also a binding contract of law and enforceable under the court of law, but you have to provide the evidences for it. But that's why it's being encouraged for you to have a written contract. So all the evidences is clear that states, let's say, the principal is appointing you on an exclusive agency basis on a 6 months time. So if you have a written document stating or proving that, so it's going to be much easier and simpler to prove in a court of law. Agency engagement must clearly state all terms and conditions, the firm's name and property identification. You are encouraged to use a standard form. If you wanted to be appointed under exclusive or sole agency, the previous term of the previous estate agent must also lapse, or must also be over. You cannot overlap. Let's say the period of the exclusive agency for the previous estate agent is still remaining about 1 month, then you have to wait for 1 month before you can become the new exclusive agent. So agents are encouraged to obtain exclusive agency without harassing or pestering client, and must explain the nature of the agency to the client. You cannot state that, oh, this is a must, this is something that if you don't do, then it will become it will jeopardize your interest in selling the property or anything. You must state to them accurately and clearly and with integrity. Okay. So agent cannot give opinion on value except based on the furnished price analysis reported by JPPH only. Meaning that, if let's say a principal asks you what is the current market value of my house, then you cannot state your market value for your house is 500,000 ringgit. You cannot state like that, because that is the work of a registered valuer. For you to tell them the opinion on the value is that, let's say you state that your neighborhood have a transaction evidence of 500,000 ringgit, 520,000 ringgit, and 480,000 ringgit. So based on the evidences, if you wanted to put an asking price of about 500,000 ringgit, then is I think is going to be okay. Then you must be careful on the wording. You cannot state that is a market value. You just state that this is an opinion of value based on the transaction data. 480, 520, 500,000 ringgit. So you have to let the principal decide what is the best asking price. It's a different thing. Market value and also asking price. Asking price is the one that you need the principal to set out, and it's the one that you will be using to ascertain your fee. Okay. So standard 6 is relating towards the advertisement and marketing. Of course, it must be correct and accurate, and no sensational content, stating that if you purchase this property, you can get 100% investment return through rental. It's not going to be misleading like that. You don't have the data to back it up, and then you just state, oh, because you wanted to get the highest number of potential buyer to came. So it's not going to be conducted like that. Of course, it's not going to be misleading and also tastefully done. Meaning you conduct the kind of advertisement in the most professional way and must have all of this, the firm's name, telephone number, e-number, or RAN number, not claiming to be better and compare with other agents' practice, stating that you are the best estate agent in Ipoh or the best estate agent in Perak. That's You are the number one estate agent in the whole of Malaysia. So uh, it's not tasteful to do. It's not even professional. Okay. The announcement, the board states that you can use mass media, electronic or digital media. You can utilize. You can utilize all the social media platforms out there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Whatever kind of medium that can help you to market the property. Signage of former agent can be removed with the consent of the client, or also agent must inform the former agent through letter. So you must have this kind of common courtesy between you and your comrades. I say comrades because sometimes these other agents, they are not just your competitors, but they can also become your partners, whereby you can work with them through co-agency or even ad hoc agency. So you can share the spoils of profit together. Okay. Standard 7 is the co-agency practice. So how you are going to conduct businesses together with other agents. How you are going to uh, divide the profit of the commission together, like ratio of 50-50 or as agreed by both parties. So if you have 5 estate agent working together to sell one particular property, then of course it's going to be 20% each. So if you are working with a very big number of agents, like in our previous lecture, like you are trying to sell a KLCC 10 billion ringgit, you are working with another 50 agents, then you calculate these 50 agents, how much percentage the all of the agents will get in trying to sell KLCC worth 10 billion ringgit. Okay. Viewing or inspection, property viewing acknowledgement, you must have a standardized form. So therefore, you can record all the information needed from the subject property. So this information is important, as when you want to address the potential buyer, then you already know. You already know what's needed to be informed to him or her. Let's say the address of the property, the type of the property. Is it a double story terrace house or a cluster house or semi-detached house? You must be very clear on that. The land area, the build up area, the materials being used to build the building, the neighborhood, the location, okay, and also nearby amenities or even facility. You must state, it's nearby UITM or it's nearby UTP. There's a shopping complex, Aeon Mall nearby, about 5 minutes of driving. So this must all be known by you as an estate agent. So you must take great interest in obtaining this kind of information. So the potential buyer will see you that as a knowledgeable estate agent and knows what he or her is talking about, and then you can convince them to maybe conduct the transaction with you. Okay. And standard 9 is regarding client's account. Like I said before, this client account is a separate account from your own company's account or even your personal account. So you don't be charged with any wrongdoings. If let's say you wanted to use the funds, so you are using your client's funds, so that will become unethical. And not only from the aspect of Value Appraisal Estate Agency Act, but also under the penal code, whereby uh, uh, you can be charged under theft or using unauthorized fund that is not uh, belong by you. Okay, right? So Section 24, effect of non-compliance with the provisions of the Act. Section 24 until Section 29 states regarding this, regarding the cancellation, suspension, and admonishment. Uh, if you are convicted of any offense involving fraud or dishonesty or moral turpitude, like you are using the client's money to fund your own personal usage, you bought a brand new car or a brand new phone using the client's money, so that is dishonesty. You can be charged under Value Appraisal Estate Agent Act, uh, and then you can be removed from the registration. Okay, uh, if you obtain the registration through fraud or misrepresentation, like you submit a false degree or a false diploma, then of course this can be revoked. Qualification withdrawn or cancelled by the authority which it was awarded. Let's say UITM doesn't feel that you deserve to receive a diploma because during your study it was found out that you plagiarized almost every assignment. So UITM revoke back your diploma, then of course your registration with the board will also be revoked because you don't have any diploma anymore. Okay, not observe any restriction, refuse or neglected to comply with any order of the board. Like let's say the board already give a letter of course to you, stating that why you are advertising and stating in the social media that you are the best estate agent, and you are still carrying out that kind of statement even after you got reprimand by the board, then of course the board can take action to cancel your registration. Okay, so subsection G states that the number of fines that you can charged with, like suspension, fine, or even letter of offense that reflect in the record of registration. Okay, removal from the register. Section 25. This is very serious. So you can be removed if you apply in writing that you want to be removed from becoming a registered estate agent, for whatever reasons. You feel that it's not your profession anymore. You are already 100 years old and that you have to pay this yearly annual fee and everything, and then you can ask to be removed by the board of value on your own will. Okay, someone who has died, of course, if you are dead, then how can you still keep practicing the work? Certified by the proper authority to be of unsound mind. Suddenly you went having a mental breakdown because you are breaking up with your wife or your girlfriend or anything, it can result in unsound mind. You have been certified by the ministry. You have been signed to a psychiatric hospital, and then you are registered to be mentally unsound. Or even you are a bankrupt. Okay, fail to renew his authority to practice within 3 months of the expiry. If you didn't renew, it's very simple. Just renew the registration, but you didn't do it, and of course, the board can remove you from the register. Okay. For reinstatement, you can see appeal is also provided under Value Appraisal Estate Agent Act. Any person can appeal who has been refused registration by the board, but registered but dissatisfied with any terms, condition or registration imposed by the board. Okay, reinstatement has been refused by the board. Okay, the appeal board, okay, is the one that is consists of qualified for appointment as a judge of a high court as chairman, who shall be appointed by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. So uh, this is a very big section to provide transparency. Uh, the appeal board is someone who is have the necessary qualification as a judge of a high court, and also the judge of the high court will be the one that will be appointed by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Okay, subsection 2 states that a member of the appeal board shall be eligible for reappointment, and the board shall provide the appeal board with such secretarial services as to fulfill its function. Procedure of appeal, and this is the effect of non-compliance with the provisions of the Act. Like we already discussed before, if you being convicted under the Value Appraisal Estate Agent Act, you can be punished with a fine not exceeding 300,000 ringgit, or a term of imprisonment not exceeding 3 years, or even both. So be careful on the works that we conduct, and we must always be doing it and in the best and the most professional manner. Okay, so I think that's it for our lecture for this week. So I will be seeing you again on the next lecture regarding topic 3 of REM212. So with this, I end the lecture with wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.